Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another edition of Mystery Ranch International. Here from our Southern Alliance compound, the Rad Bunker, X-Ray Zulu number 322, call sign Camelot. Hope everybody's doing all right. Please go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, rate, tell us you hate us, whatever, on the video.
I guess today, Michael, we're going to do just a quick maybe introduction slash just get the word out there video. Me and Michael recently came across this guy. His name is Field McConnell. And so this video is going to be a tribute to two U.S. Marine Corps fighter pilots during the Vietnam War. And one of those is Field McConnell. Field McConnell was actually pushed out of his job as an airline pilot post 9/11 whenever he started talking about the uninterrupted autopilots that are on Boeings and those class of airplanes and airliners, and he was actually pushed out of his job, and pretty much they made it, I guess, they made it so rough on him that he just went ahead and retired. But the uninterrupted autopilot could have definitely been used in the 9/11 attacks, and it was, you know, it could have been used as a drone basically. Anybody can tap into them, and not anybody, but you know, anybody with access to it can tap into it, and the people in the cockpit will have no more control whatsoever. Anyways, back to what we're talking about today. His wingman was a man by the name of Colonel Sabow. He was stationed at El Toro Air Force Base out west. And he pretty much, you can basically just say he was murdered. And then you have, this was 1991, and he was murdered pretty much because he saw too much. So at El Toro, they were bringing in drugs, they were bringing in guns. And an ex-CIA pilot has actually came out to confirm all this. And basically, if it wasn't for his brother, if it wasn't for Sabow's brother, who was actually, I think he wasn't an actual surgeon or anything like that, but he's in the medical field. So whenever he just knew something was fishy whenever he saw what they were saying, Colonel Sabow happened to him. He knew it wasn't no suicide. So Colonel Sabow was taken to his backyard, and he was basically held. They want to say 3 men, and you know they're just trying to speculate, but they want to say 3 men had to have done this. At least 3 men. So one grabbed one arm, one grabbed the other arm. And both of them were pushing down on his shoulders as a third man took a cricket bat to the back of Colonel Sabow's head. He was pretty much as good as dead as they got through doing that. And these guys, I don't know where they're getting their assassins from these days, but so
the autopsy showed he had spewed up some blood on his own arm, right?
Exactly.
Which, if he killed himself,
yeah. If you
would have been laying on your arm, spitting up blood on.
And they staged it, and another small detail, and I don't really understand this one, but the man was wearing his bathrobe. I mean, you know, this is a good old 60s man, you know, that walks around the house in a gentleman's bathrobe and probably gets martinis when he gets home and stuff. So, but his bathrobe, the back side was tucked all the way through his front side of his legs. The front side was tucked all the way back to the back side of his legs, to where they were staging him. So one of them grabbed one of the legs, another leg probably spread, and as they were, you know, making him staging the crime scene, both of them got kind of just pressed in there to where if he was sitting the way he was, they say in the report, then there's no way for the bathrobe to get tucked in there. They make a big deal out of that. I wouldn't have ever seen it, wouldn't have ever noticed one way or the other, you know. But so they've done a recent medical report, and I encourage y'all to definitely go look at it to at least shed light on it. And I want to say a documentary might be coming out in next year or something like that, which would be great, you know, and shed some light on these things that have been taking over this country for way too long, it seems. The more and more we keep looking, the more and more we get to see stuff like this right here, and it's pitiful. One reason they had to kill Colonel Sabow because this man was an honorable Marine. He had no dirt on him. They knew that they couldn't blackmail him. They knew that they couldn't send him to some...
He wouldn't go into the after parties of the elites and allowing them to, you know, like in The Godfather, pretty much drug you, knock you out, put you in bed with whoever they want, take pictures, and you know, there's many different ways, I'm sure, that blackmail. But
that's one easy way.
He was a squeaky clean, you know, family man, and
decorated war hero.
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't deserve to go down like that, and you know, and his buddies who were generals at the time, they had to sit in and be quiet and be cowards and not speak up for this man because they were generals of this base at that time, and they had to be silent because otherwise they would have gotten suicided. But still, where does honor and cowardice meet? And one go one way, the other go the other way. It's just, I don't know. Those men were in that position of having to be quiet because they hadn't been blackmailed. They had the dirt on them, and so I guess that's, you know, they done lost their honor at that point. But yeah, they found no gun residue on his hands. They found no gun residue on his bathrobe. He would have had to been in one of those lawn chairs, and they said that, I don't know why they did this, but it's kind of weird, but they had the shotgun going down right here to the right of his right leg, and so there would have been gun residue right there on his leg. There wasn't any gun residue because the gun residue will come out of the breech, and this was a break. What is it called? It's like a bird fouling rifle, you know, where it's a breech, and breech brake, and gun residue will come out of that, you know, wherever it is located at on your body. You will get, if you're shooting right here, it's gonna go right here, you know. It will come out of the trigger housing. Those are definite facts. And the other thing, whenever we started looking into this, they have autopsy photos on file, and if I would have showed you the autopsy of this man's head and said that this man killed himself with a shotgun, you would automatically say, well, that right there don't look right, you know. And the reason is because, and one other reason why he was aspirating on his cloak was because they did this to him, left him for dead. Thought he was dead, but he wasn't. His brain was still pumping oxygen. You know, these basic functions that God gives us were still operating, and he was pumping the blood on his cloak arm, and they went and manipulated his shotgun shells. So, say X amount of shotgun. Say X amount of gunpowder is in a shotgun shell, well, they took out 2/3 of it, you know. That way, it would just, and that right there was to hide the fractures that they had caused in his head, but they missed where they had gotten on his spine. So,
When they didn't expect family to be in the medical field and be able to continue to do a little more thorough research or a real autopsy. I'm
sorry, Miss Sabow. You know, I mean, he's a decorated war hero. He's been carrying around a lot of luggage for his whole life. I mean, you know, he'd pretty much he was becoming commandant of that base. I think he had become a commandant about a week earlier, and about 6 months before that was whenever he started seeing these unregistered planes that were landing. That well, I don't know who's in that one. Well, this is a daggum El Toro air base, you know. I mean, we don't know who's. They knew who it was, but they didn't let everybody privy in on it. So, but this is just a little dedication to Colonel Sabow and Mr. Field McConnell, who is a brave man, and he speaks his mind, and he everybody says that he's crazy, and I just say he's a hero for speaking up and at least trying to do the right thing. So there you go, Mr. Field McConnell. Anyways.
All right, James, that was wonderful. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next video. We're going to try to keep them pumping. You know, search and search, question everything, follow the money.
And the power.
Thank you all very much.